And welcome, race fans, here to another episode at CRN. Tonight's we'll be with the drivers over here at CSRL. They'll be out here on their it's definitely not Monza. So Carl gave me a poopy title, but anyways, we are going to be at Fuji here tonight. So definitely going to be out here on this track. It's a 2.77 mile track. And we have two classes. We got the LMP2 and the GT3 right now out there going ahead and getting the qualifying done. They get 10 minutes to get their best time in here and set those positions. But while they're doing that, got to bring in my co-host here for tonight, usually on track, but in the back behind the camera here tonight is John Nobringer. Welcome, John.
Hey, good night there, Jimmy. And speaking of what Carl messed up on, yeah, I got a little something to send you that'll fix all your things for that.
It's all right. It's just the intro there. But, we got the drivers out there right now. They're finishing up. The time is almost done. But obviously, I had John go ahead and pull up the point standing so he can give a quick rundown of the point standing here before tonight's race.
Yeah, it looks like, so over in the LMP2 Pro class, obviously you get Dace Keeling leading here. I'm going to have to widen that. Oh, hold on. Oh, well, I guess I don't get to see it. Yeah, so Dace leading 2003 points. Looks about, I'm having to do math here. It's not too good, but about 80-something points behind Bryce Reiner in second. Craig Jansig is in the third at 1,800 points, about another 100 back there. And then Noah back with 1,763. And in fifth, you got Devin Young. So there's your top five for your pro class. And in AM, you got Javi Sierra leading with 2277. And Michael Pennant a little bit further back there with 1893. Paul Smith in third in AM at 1853, so a little bit of a battle for those two to have there. Jim Dutton in fourth with 1756, so he could pull out a second in that one, it looks like. And Renan Dilemma, 1638 in LMP AM. Following your GT3 Pro class, Ricky Renner leading that with 2066. Jesse Mosley in second with 2000. Christopher Hamilton in third with 1993. Then a little bit of a drop down to Jason Phillips with 1551. And Max Dumont there with 1502. And in your AM class, looks like Cesar Torres, 2317. Cameron Burke, 1864 in second. Chris Hayes in third with a 1741. Brandon Powell with a 1735. And Stephen Price with a 1522.
So that's your rundown of the points. If you want a full rundown, you go over to CoreRacingLeague.com. You go to our shared partners tab there, and you can find all the point standings for all the leagues that are broadcasted here at CRN. But we're gonna, they're on the track. They're rolling now, and tonight's pole sitter is going to go ahead and beat Dace Keeling, and then Craig Jansik very close behind. It's been back and forth every single week between the two, and Craig's trying to make that run here the later part of the season, and hopefully be able to catch up to Dace. But Dace is a tough competitor. He's been out front and been very quick here with these LMP2s, but that's still leaders of your LMP2s, and then your front row for your GT3s is going to be Christopher Hamilton and Ricky Renner. The grid's going through there at the bottom to show you where your favorite driver is going to be starting here tonight, and then we'll go ahead and bring everything up here as soon as that's done, track map and all that fun stuff, and see if we get a good race here. Fuji's, obviously a pretty unique track. They do have special events here, and you can be out here for 12 hours. I think it's 12 hours of Fuji. So definitely one of those tracks that you're susceptible to seeing, and if you're a road racer, probably been part of. So, but here tonight we got 39 cars on the field here. And to be honest, John, I think it's we'd have 40 if you were out there, and I know Dave Tilford's not out here tonight as well, as he's on vacation. So that counts for 41, but there's a few others that are missing here tonight. We've seen up to 50 cars on the track here tonight, but still good size field here, and plenty of places that these LMP2s can kind of get around these GT3s, but LMP2s are ready to rock and roll, get ready to go green here as they come getting ready to go across the start finish line, and Dace Keeling's going to start them off here and get that nice little jump there on the inside as they head down into turn number 1. The Barneys are waving. The cars are coming through, and everybody's looking good right now. Up front, starting to single file out. A little bit of bunch up right here with a few of the other drivers. Break up the overlays, but it looks like we're going to survive turn number 1, and that's usually the pinnacle here for the other drivers. But we'll hop back quickly here with the GT3s as they're underway as well, with Christopher Hamilton leading the way here with Ricky Renner, and they're going to head down into turn number 1 as well. And so far so good. I'm not seeing too many things going on. I'm seeing a couple passes and a couple things going on, but it does look like Craig Conaway took a little spin there off the grass with a few drivers over on the right. Hopefully
Ian Southern there.
Yeah, Ian Southern, and I'm not sure who else that was, but
Jesse Mosley.
There you go, Jesse Mosley. And Jesse Mosley is usually one of those competitors up towards the front for the GT3s. But we'll go ahead back up front to see how close Dace Keeling and Craig Jancic are. And as you can see there, nose to tail.
Nose to tail.
No questions asked. It's kind of like, you know, what we see out here, and you know, the drivers definitely get going here, and we'll get to everything up here for everybody to see where your favorite driver is. We'll get the class display up so you can see who's the leader of each class. And you know, that's the one thing. I know each driver tries to do the best they can and finish up where they're at, but it's, if you can you know, have that that awareness of who you're racing, you know, sometimes, you know, the LMP2 rookie just has to be in front of the other LMP2 rookies and not all of the LMP2 classes. But it does look like, as we're talking here, Steve Luttrell taking a spill back here. So we'll go back there and see what happened to Steve Luttrell. And that's Cameron Burke. I need to click on Steve Luttrell. Let's see what happened back here as he's looks like he's driving the Mercedes here tonight. So just a little bit in the corner, just and a snap and a quick link. But Fuji has plenty of runoffs here tonight, John.
Yeah, it's one of those tracks you almost have to try to wind up in one of the walls. There's a few exceptions and a few curves that will send you into somewhere between low Earth orbit and outer space. So
yeah, it's
gotta be careful with some of them.
It has that long straightaway, obviously down the front stretch here coming out of the final turn. Is right now it is Dace Keeling and Craig Jancic, followed by Savani Madrigal having a fantastic season here as well, getting some pretty good finishes. But coming out of this final turn is really about setting that exit up and getting those cars going. And you can see everybody in single file line. They're quite impressed there by the LMP2s to get things going here. It's a 45-minute race. Obviously got a fast repair, and typically if you go in, you can, you know, you can get your fast repair, a full tank of gas, and get back out here and still give yourself a chance to just you're set back a little bit in the field. Now we have seen drivers qualify a little bit and then maybe come in a little bit early, kind of staging themselves in a gap, and you know, where they have no one around them instead of battling. Like right now, we're seeing here with the leaders are doing a fantastic job. But we'll hop back here to your leader of the LMP2 AM at the moment, and that's going to be Paul Smith there, followed by Javi Sierra closely. And again, they're single file, so I'm really impressed. Like I said, it's a difficult track. It can be very technical. They do have a little bit of a straightaway, and the opportunity is there, but the talent here is pretty high. For the most part, unless the rain comes out. I think you could speak from experience how complicated rain could be on these road courses.
Well, you know, it's not only that, but the two rain races we had this year, you had one that was, for lack of a better way to call it, was spotty rain, and with the other being an absolute torrential downpour. You know, it about the worst case for rain that iRacing offers in both cases. You know, it was either changing track conditions consistently, like you didn't know what each corner was going to look like from lap to lap, or you knew what they were going to look like, but none of it was good.
Yeah, spray being a big challenge, the see-through, and obviously getting passed by the faster cars if you're in the GT3s, and you know, you could have a clear track, the next thing you know, you got an LMP2 mucking it up for you, and you can't see. But Seen a little spin there by Renault Dilemma, just a 360, get back out in the track. Does look like Dace Keeling is your leader over Craig Jancic sitting there in second, and Stefani Madrigal in third for your LMP2 Pros. LMP2 and right now is going to be Paul Smith in ninth, and with Javi Sierra back there in P number 10, and then back for your GT3 Pros going to be Christopher Hamilton or Ricky Renner in 19th and 20th overall, and then in GT3 AM Powell being your leader.
It looks like we're probably about, I don't know, I'm guessing, what is it, minute 30s versus minute 35s? So 5 seconds. We probably get about another 10 laps till they catch the back of the GT3 pack. And, you know, I know you raced here in Core when we did the LMP3s and the GT3s. Yeah, the LMP3s had a little bit of a problem at the end of the straight with GT3s catching them. Not going to be a problem for these LMP2s, though.
Yeah, the GT3...
So they do have an easy pass on that straight.
Yeah, that LMP3 was a unique car, and that was one of those cars where I really wanted to like that machine. But they don't have the top speed of the GT3s, but they do have major cornering. Over the GT3s, a little bit lighter car, a little more downforce, hence why
really
they're a little
touchy
bit slow.
brakes.
And the brakes are probably the worst. And I see something happening here with Chris Hayes, only on lap number 4, about 6 minutes in here. I'll go back here and see what happened to Chris. So it looks like he's coming down through one of the corners and just maybe, yep, good old McLaren doing McLaren things. A little bit of snappage there from that low RPM, high torque. And if you're not used to it, it can really catch you by surprise, but just a little bit too much power there for Chris in the number 80. We'll go back up, go back live here and see what the battles are right now. Closest battle on the track is actually back here in the back, side by side. Steven Luttrell, we've seen him go off the track there a little bit with Ian Southern. Yeah, no, Ian Southern's there. He's got missing a nose. That's Jay Little back there. So close battle even in the back of the pack, where, you know, always trying to go around and see what everybody's doing, but mostly trying to make his way back up to the field here as well, as he just gets around John Espada back there for P number 33. And I like how in SDK, like, the classes are kind of broken up, and you can see, like, obviously you see when somebody gains a position overall, but it also has it broken down how many positions gained for the different classes. So biggest mover, you know, obviously is of the race, up 5 spots overall, but 4 spots in the GT3s is Todd Torville, who's running a Ferrari here tonight. Currently sitting back there in 29th overall, just doing an overall good job starting to work his way forward. And one of the more rare cars, don't see him out here very often. That's the Audi.
It's just an Audi.
By Willie Brennan. Yeah, it's you know, I did a race.
Honestly thought they had sunsetted the Audi. I have not seen one in a core race in a couple seasons. Haven't seen one in an official either.
No, it needs a little bit of love, and I had it at Sonoma Monday. I gave it a try before we actually registered for our road race myself, and it wanted to kill me like every other corner, so it still did Audi things. There is tracks and there's a place for it here, and you know, if that's the car you like to drive, I mean, you can really make it work. I mean, the GT3s are pretty equal as far as speed goes, but some just take corners better than others, and you know, some are a little pushier, some are a little loose.
The Lambo's a little broken at Daytona this week.
Oh, the Lambo broken this week? He's got too much low?
Yeah, it's I'd have to do the conversion because I've been having to run kilometers an hour for my team, and it was 283 kilometers an hour, which is moving. It's about 100, it's well into the 170s, if not 180.
Yeah, sometimes iRacing does some adjustments, you know, and you know, sometimes secretly too, and you find out by, you know, watching some drivers online or streaming. You know, there's plenty of...
Maybe that's a straight line, but it's sketchy. It's just like the Audi.
Yeah, I mean,
did not finish my official today.
It's kind of like a give and take. I mean, you remember when we ran the GTPs here at Daytona, and I put in a totally wrong setup. Obviously, it flew through the infield, and until we figured out really what was going on, to kind of minimize our losses on the straightaways. But you know, if you have too much downforce, I mean, you're great in the infield, and if you have, and then you're, you know, bad on the, you know, on the oval part of Daytona. And usually the oval part of Daytona is where you get a lot of your passing. So it really kind of stinks that be down the speed there. So that's why most cars run a little bit higher or a lower downforce. Yeah, to get that speed down them straightaways. And maybe that's just what the Lambos got here this week, to get that thing around here, trying to make up some time and space. But out front right now, it's still Dace Keeling. He's got a little over a 1 second lead over there with Craig. That's not Craig. Craig Jancic right there. Still has him in his sights, not letting him go here anytime soon. We're super early into this race, only about 11 minutes in. You know, these things go by so fast. There's always so much action going on here. Here's 3 of the LMP2s battling it out right here, as you got Trent Blaylock working to the inside there of the 14 of Rob Angus. So just trying to make it work, but goes around on the outside there as they head down these couple corners until they get to that one hairpin that takes them in a series of S's. Like I said, a lot of these are super fun. It's just knowing how far you can drive the car out, how much you can use the throttle, what's your braking like, what gear do you need to be in. It's a lot of fun. I don't know why I like this track. I mean, sometimes it's super challenging, but as soon as you get the hang of it, you can really get that rhythm here. And I think that's what I like about it, is that I could find a rhythm at this track, unlike Monday, my rhythm at Sonoma, because I probably only have maybe 200 laps on there total in 6 years. I was horrible and definitely was struggling. Finished in MP number 2, but definitely should have been up there in the front battle a lot closer with who to drive for that one on Monday night. But right now, Dace Keeling trying to get that win, and we got a battle as the, I thought it got closer. Craig Jancic closed that gap there, and he's right on the back bumper of the 6 of Dace Keeling, maybe looking to even possibly start getting that traffic involved. And, you know, it's what makes these cars kind of unique. Obviously, they're fast enough to get around here and catch some of the slower traffic for the GT3s as they're coming up back. And, you know, how well can you manage the traffic? You know, some drivers like to dive it in there. Some like to set it up for the exit. Me personally, I prefer to set them up for the exit instead of diving down. But you see that big run there by Craig Jancic, almost getting into it there with Ian Southern just a little bit, and that was Dace Keeling, but Craig Jancic doesn't want to let him go. It's a battle back here as Craig Jancic does get around that lap traffic. So lap traffic, GT3s now just kind of hold your line and hang on to it here just a little bit as these GT3s are on a move, trying to not lose in touch with one another, because it can quickly go away. Like if you have a nice little gap between you and a competitor, it can disappear. But go back and visit the GT3 leaders here a little bit. Christopher Hamilton back there in P number 19 overall, being followed closely by Ricky Renner. So on that back bumper, you know, we watched Ricky Renner last night on the Oval Series. He was up front, and I think he even led a lap or two at one point, and then at the end of the race got left out on his own to be on some older tires, and ended up spinning those said old tires, or everybody had new tires, and then it ended up causing a small incident. So perfect, almost a perfect race for Ricky last night until it came down to the end. But it was good to see him out there.
A little bit of a battle in the AM division for the AM division lead currently.
Oh yeah, go back there with Javi Sierra and Mike Pennant, and then
I was saying GT3s between Caesar and Brandon.
Caesar Colon Torres. Yeah, they're side by side.
They just ran wide in the corner before.
Yeah, this is what you like to see. I like to see drivers, you know, going too wide in corners. That typically they're just going, you know, a single car file through them. And they give each other room. I haven't been on the track racing with these drivers, but I've watched them a lot, obviously. And typically when me and Carl are over here, he does tend to focus on the GT3s, or excuse me, the LMP2s a little bit more, and I'll watch the GT3s and then bring them up. So like when we see stuff happening like this here, like this great battle, for these positions, it's for 26th right now, and this would be second place for your GT3 AMs, right? Yeah, AM purple. So you can see who your leaders are up on the top of your screen. Keeling, Dooley, Sierra, Hamilton, Clement, and does look like Jancic was able to get around as Dace Keeling has an episode here and crashes. Let's go find out what happened to Dace here as there was a battle here just going around some lap traffic here and comes down, gets a nudge by the Audi there, and no major damage, able to kind of get that car rolling, just loses a bunch of time. And we know that Dace has got some speed, but Craig's got some speed of his own. He was right there just to scoop that up. So maybe what Craig needed here tonight to get a chance to get back up in his booth and start collecting some of those points and gain headway here on Dace for that championship before the end of the season. So, but we're going to put in the lead right now. Craig Jancic over Bryce Reiner and Savani at Madrigal. Devin Young does move there at P4. Kyle Kobler, Herb Pineda, Dace Keeling drops all the way back to 7th. So that kind of tells you how close everybody's running up front. Then obviously back in the GT3s, you got Christopher Hamilton with Ricky Renner, Dilemma. That is actually your an LMP2. And then you got Max Dumont and Francois Clement back there as well. So definitely a few drivers at a place in them LMP2s. And I've always, when I ran in cars, John was like, if I'm in an LMP2, even if I'm last, I should be before all the GT3s. That was always a goal, so you have to kind of stay out of trouble because this isn't like a super long race. These are sprints each and every week, and I think that's why you see so much adrenaline and kind of sometimes the pressure to get it done now, because you don't you have a nice amount of time, but not a huge amount of time, like their 2-hour finale.
Yeah, Brennan has already made a pit stop, so wondering if he was just trying to duck in and maybe thinking he was going to miss the GT3s and wound up coming out in the middle of the GT3 leader battle there. See, Ricky's going to try to get some of that giraffe there.
Yeah, Ricky just kind of hold it on. And, this is you can, with drivers being this close, sometimes it's best to, pass them in the pits. It might be just easier, so if Ricky can land an outstanding pit stop here tonight, can find himself in front of Christopher Hamilton, but Chris trying to get that Blue Thunder Mustang around here tonight. And the Mustang's been pretty dominant through a lot of tracks, even here at CSRL and throughout iRacing in general. It's nice to have different cars kind of bounce back and forth to seem to be a little more dominant, but the Mustang rides like it's got a bigger front end on it, so it's pretty high in your field of view. And I'll go down there and I'll show you all. Hop on board here.
And it really only has one kind of chink in its armor, in the fact that it's a bigger vehicle and it punches a big old hole. So Ricky back there in that McLaren that's smaller, you can really, even though the Mustang is generally faster in a straight line, if you're in that draft, especially on this long straight, I have to wonder how much fuel Ricky might be able to save, and if we won't see, multiple seconds quicker in a pit stop just from having to take less fuel.
Yeah, he hopped on board here with Chris Hamilton in the cockpit, and I actually have my car where I'm actually just a little bit taller. You can see on the dashboard at the bottom most of the information, but if I were to change that down just a little bit, you'd see all kinds of more numbers for some of the tires and stuff for when you're driving. When you're observing somebody, you're not going to get their information by no means, but you know, you can see just how kind of big that nose is compared to somebody maybe like Ricky Renner, where you got this huge window in the McLaren and you can see really close to the nose. It's like you can really like see the apexes really well. It's definitely one of my favorite cars to drive. It's just a unique car to drive because it has a like a mid or low power band or something, John. It just seems to have like a lot of lower RPM power in the gearings as you come up through them. So you just got to kind of be careful, you know, when you downshift and when you upshift in order to keep that car going forward and not sideways on a racetrack. But looks like the racing has kind of subsided here tonight just a little bit, but we've got a couple races up here in LMP2s and up here with Trent Blaylock. And then, or behind Trent Blaylock right there, you got Rob Angus and number 14 trying to track him down. And then you got Herbert Pineda trying to track down Kyle Kobler as well. So you got a GT3 car there right in the middle. So, you know, it's one of those things. GT3 sometimes are better through the corners than the LMP2s.
Yeah, some of the slower speed corners, I think it's just kind of the way it works out. They a little more mechanical grip maybe, but looks like we might be getting close to the pit window for the GT3 guys here. Seeing one or two of them pitting in the last lap or so.
Let's see if we can pull up.
Maybe that's just Torres trying to short pit and see if he can get around Brandon that way.
There are a few of the drivers in the tower there have come in here in lap number 8 and 9, whether it was for damage and whatnot. But if I go over here, it does look like we do have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 drivers that have been into the pits, and a few of those here on lap number 10, 11, and 12 kind of coming in and starting things and maybe looking to get in that bubble to being by themselves, where they're not battling somebody, where they're just by themselves. Get out there, get some clean, fast laps in, and hopefully, when everything shakes out and everybody starts taking these pit stops, you fall right back in place, or maybe get a little bit ahead of where you're at. So it's kind of like going backwards just a little bit. Like, all right, I need a little bit of fuel. Instead of running this tank out, I'll just get it now and then go back out there. I typically don't like to do that because I usually start getting faster towards the end of the fuel run because the car is lighter. So I usually try to wait myself. But yeah, some people love to kind of come in and create themselves a space that's a lot safer than when they started the racing.
Yeah, definitely with this big multi-class, if you can, pit 4 laps earlier and miss the majority of the LMP2s coming through the field, you can make up a few seconds there if, the guy in front of you gets held up as they go around him somewhere, or he has to kind of let him have a corner. And it's something that simple can make, shift an entire race.
Yeah, it's amazing the choices you make during a race, how much it can affect you. You see right now Christopher Hamilton and Ricky Renner there, and right behind them, going around them, I believe that is the number 97 of Craig Jancic. So already getting around all of the GT3 cars already, and that's your LMP2 leader. Got a nice lead right now over Bryce Reiner. Bryce Reiner having a fantastic season. We've seen him last season do very, very well as for the LMP2s, and just kind of return this season. Just been super consistent to keep his points standing where they are right now. And so you can't ask. Savani's been knocking it out of the park here, and he's just missing just that little bit here to kind of find himself, running with the likes of Bryce Reiner and Craig Jancic, Dace Keeling, but been very super consistent, pretty much each and every week. Devin Young back there, P number 4, and then Kyle Kobler bring up your top 5 for your LMP2s. Biggest mover of the LMP2s looks to be
Trent, or Bryce
Reiner. He's up 5 spots, so got good 5 spots there, and just staying out of trouble. getting by some people, maybe taking advantage of pit stops and slow cars, using them for picks. We can see the 87 now going around on the outside of corners, and you know that's the extra downforce and the speed that the LMP2 can carry here at Fuji.
Yeah, it's definitely one of those. There are those corners where you can just straight up send it around the outside. The LMP2 doesn't care; it has plenty of grip. Although I will say, have you looked at the off-track counts for SDK?
Actually kind of very low. They seem to be low for me.
It says Craig Jancic has 21 off tracks. I'm not believing that.
Yeah, I have him at 0. So I mean, it is actually pretty easy to get off tracks here. Just depending on the part of the track you're at. You know, you're out there and you're cutting each corner. And you know they kind of got to be careful, and I think if Craig had 21, we would have already seen him have to do a server drive-through. If I'm not mistaken, we hit a certain amount of penalties or X's, you at least have to serve a drive-through until the next one. So I'm not quite sure if that number is here, but I'm almost positive that's the way they run it here. So basically, X or an incident, you can get 4 for like wrecking with somebody. You can get 2 for losing it, and then you can get 1 for running off the road. So there's definitely a few ways to get them, and when you're cutting corner after corner after corner here at as fast as you can, it can just be a half a tire with X. So they're easy to add up, but at least you got room to, like, if you miss a corner and mess up, and you can see out, you know, kind of here looking with Craig Jancic, you know, so much space, you know, on the track around him for, like, if they were to mess up a corner. But that's his position right now. We'll go back here with Javi Sierra kind of hanging out in between. But you got Jim Dutton in the top 10 again here tonight. So Jim, another one of those LMP2 drivers that just been kind of cruising here and just been doing a fantastic job. And then, you know, something will come up and maybe start getting involved in a little bit of traffic, and maybe just making a bad judgment call, or the GT3 car making a bad judgment call, and then end up having to, like, park that vehicle for the night. But out here right now, we're over the halfway mark. We're at the 27-minute mark. Some drivers have come into pit. Right now, we got John Espada, Stefan Price, Jay Little, Jason Phillips all down there, all in the pits right now, getting some service to their GT3s at the moment, and you see them make it the rest of the way. So they're coming down here just a little bit. Maxim DeMont come in, so the GT3s are coming down to get some service to make it the rest of the way there, John.
Yep. Yeah, it looks like the majority of, well, not say the majority, most of the guys that have pitted so far in the AM division GT3. Makes me wonder how much of that pace between Hamilton and Renner is fuel saving going on.
Yeah, I'd be curious. So each GT3 car has, like, they're not all the same size tanks. They're not all like 100 liters.
They're not.
So, but when iRacing goes to fill them, even if, say, one was 150 liters and one was 100 liters, they'd still fill up the exact same speed. So, or very, very, very close. But that's because I had that question. I'm like, well, you know, some cars, they got bigger tanks, you know, but some have smaller tanks.
I don't think it was always that way. I think that's something they changed around that last tire model change.
Yeah, because, I mean, if that's the case, I mean, you know, why wouldn't you at least use the car that gets the best gas mileage regardless? You know, you get or one that holds more fuel. So, but they have got that pretty turned down. They did not give too much advantage to one car or the next, especially during their special events. And you can see the 3 there of Trent Blaylock coming up on your GT3 leaders down to the inside of Ricky Renner there, as they head down into some of these twisted corners here and trying to get by. Christopher Hamilton is going to swing it wide to the outside. This long kind of carousel type corner and plenty of room to stay wide with a car that has as much downforce as your LMP2. But good move there by Trent Blaylock, still holding on to that 6th place. He's up 8 spots here tonight, and 3 spots from his start. Wait, 8 spots, 3 spots up from his division. So definitely, and that's for the LMP2 Pros. So he's made a few spots. He's made 8 spots up over the GT or the LMP2s, but 3 up amongst his competitors.
Yeah, hoping Chris's brother doesn't turn his computer on during this race. I know he's had a few disconnects over the season so far.
I think about all the things that you can have go wrong. You know, having your internet go out is probably like the worst feeling. It wasn't but the other day. I think I got a storm pass through here, and you know the wind blew wrong. The whole house went out, and I was just kind of sitting there. I was working because I work from home, and battery backup. But like, well, there goes my power. I'll be back, boys. So went out for a few minutes. Got a chance to get up out of my work or my office chair and stretch my legs. But definitely does stink when you lose the internet. Just something so simple, especially if you're in the lead here, like Craig Jansick. Craig Jansick, looking to try to, get a win here, another win here this season, and doing a good job. Taking full advantage of that small mistake there by Dace Keeling, and allowing Craig to kind of jump out up front. And now he's pulling away from his teammate Bryce Reiner. So just doing a fantastic job here tonight at Fuji. And like I said, Fuji is also one of those races or one of those tracks that does have those special events. So it's not like an obscure track that maybe many people haven't seen.
The Caesar pitting early is going to just come out ahead of Brandon. So pitting on lap 11 versus 19, going to be the big brain call to come out ahead.
Yeah, it's those little things like that. Could bend some laps there by Cesar Colon Torres, but we got some movement up front from your pro drivers in the LMP2, and they're coming down pit lane like a train. You got Craig Jansick, Savani Madrigal, Bryce Reiner, Devin Young, Herbert Pineda, Trent Blaylock, all the pros coming down in here, along with some of the other GT3s getting ready, and just getting that splash of fuel to make it the rest of the way. No tires are ever taken at any of these events. It takes too long. And then I don't know what rule set they have out here, so possibly if you are taking tires, you would have to take fuel and then tires, or if you have the
it is that way.
It is that way. So that's definitely something. Like if you're endurance racing, they use the IMS most races so far.
Ricky coming out of the pits, Chris coming down the main straight. Who's going to be ahead into turn 1 here? It's going to be close.
Looks like Ricky. Oh, can
Ricky going to take it.
Crazy.
A 1.4 second gap. That's going to put Chris just outside of draft too. So Chris is going to have to try to suck up a second of actual pace and not get a easy rubber band effect.
Get back here, see what happened to Francois. Looking like he was coming on that front stretch and just gets a little love tap there by I'm not quite sure, the number 22 of Tyler Toverville. Instead of Francois for a little bit of a ride here. So a little bit of incident there. Tough break for Francois, but we're now at 34 minutes, so this thing is just a cruise. We've got 11 more minutes to go here with CSRL. Just want to give a shout out to all the viewers out there, and then all our sponsors. And let me hop over here so I don't miss any of them. Carl's got a little read here somewhere for us.
After the pit phase,
yep, you got 40 racewear for the racing gloves for your feet. If you haven't already gotten yourself a set, head on over there to one of their They got I think they have YouTube, they got Twitch, they got Instagram, all that fun stuff. You can visit them on their website. Get yourself I think they got gloves, they got boots, they got shoes for your feet. Definitely well made, and hopefully you can find the correct size, maybe something up to your comfort. And then you have Velocity out there, basically, they have picked up here tonight, and they are the new league sponsor. And then we also have Aerostar Racing. So they're basically excited to welcome Aerostar Racing as a sponsor to this CSRL season, established in 2026. So Aerostar Racing was founded to bring together drivers who value teamwork, continuous improvement, and competitive success. The team members having competed in CSRL dating back as far as January 2023. The team has experienced firsthand the outstanding community, sportsmanship, and level of competition that makes the league special. They're proud to support a series that has played such an important role in the sim racing journeys of many of their drivers. Aerostar Racing is proud to sponsor the season and help support the continued growth in the community that has meant so much to the team. They believe in creating an environment where drivers can compete, improve, and succeed together. And they're excited to give back to the league that has provided so many memorable moments over the years. The season will be sponsoring the Ironman Award. The awards award honors the driver who competes in every race through 10 while recording the fewest incident points, demonstrating the consistency, discipline, and racecraft that have defined a true competitor. So a huge thanks to the Aerostar Racing for supporting CSRL here this season. So yeah, it's a big one there, John. I mean, to get out there with the to compete in every race and have the least amount of incidents.
I'm not going to get that one. I can already tell you.
Go back here with Jesse Mosley as he's trying to work his way forward here, down one spot from the start. So Mosley not having the race that he typically has here tonight. Usually one of the drivers in the top 5 here for the GT3s, battling up there with Christopher Hamilton and Ricky Renner. So just kind of trying to work his way around that Audi back there, up 3 spots, sitting 4th in the GT3 Pros, and then in the 7th overall there for your GT3s, but doing a fantastic job there for that Audi. Is I don't think we have every car in the track here tonight. Got the McLaren, got Ford, Lambo, Ferrari.
BMW?
Yeah, got one for you. John Espada usually covers the. We do have the Merc with Stephen Luttrell. Chevy. We're missing the Corvette.
Yeah, no Corvettes.
Yeah, no Corvette. So almost had a full shebang out here for all the types of cars, but so many GT3s to choose from these days. So you really can fall in one specific or just all of them. But you can go ahead. We'll look up towards the front near Christopher Hamilton, kind of sliding back just a little bit from Ricky to now back to a little over 2 seconds. As Ricky Renner stretches that lead out over Christopher Hamilton. But
looking at their pit times, Ricky 2 seconds quicker stopped in his box for only 10 seconds versus 12.5 for Chris. So, saving some fuel.
Fresh cold tires there for Paul Bailey as you see him spin out coming right after the pits. But yeah, that Ricky taking full advantage. Just drafting Christopher Hamilton there in the beginning of the race, and to cut that pit stop a lot more shorter, and probably have plenty of fuel to go to the rest of the race here as things wind down. We're down here to now about 5.5 minutes as we're past the 39-minute mark. Your Craig Jancic is still your leader up here. One of the closer races on the track, that was going to be Trent Blaylock along with Kyle Kobler. That's up here. Kyle Kobler and Brandon Dooley, excuse me, for 7th and 8th. They're only 0.3 seconds apart. And then you got back here with your GT3s back towards the back of the pack. But there's always great battling back here in the back, even because they're not in the front. Does not mean they're not doing some great racing. Just a little bit slower than some of those drivers out there, but you can see them nose to tail back here. You got Stephon Price, you got Jason Phillips, John Espada, all back here in this kind of area where they're really trying to get around here tonight, just not as fast as they would like to be. So, Carl, who do you think, or not Carl, John, who do you think is going to be the winner here tonight as this thing starts to wind up?
I was just looking. It looks like Dace has managed to close that gap to Craig to 12.5 seconds. 5 minutes left. It's going to require a screw up from about 3 people ahead of him to, rectify that. But good job making it back up to 4th position there. But yeah, it looks like Craig, nice little gap there between him and Bryce. He should have it. And Ricky and the GT3s keeping that gap above the draft window, so he's looking pretty decent. And same with Caesar over Brandon. So Javi, yeah, he's got Paul Smith's is another 5 seconds back. So yeah, looks like all the class leaders kind of have their races in their own hands.
It looks like for the most part, all your class leaders will be the ones that we talk to here before we head over to our doubleheader here tonight with Pit Road Speed Limit Racing, as they will tackle on the short track of Bristol. So that should be entertaining in the next gen. Hopefully they can keep it together for some great green flag runs, because we know how fast of a Super Bowl that place can be. And it takes many tires and car bumpers on that track. So, but only so many fast repairs for the drivers here tonight. But we only got a few more laps to go. Go up here with Craig Jancic, see where he stands. And as he works his way around the track, just working his way through the S's. So he won't see the white flag this time by, but I'm sure he should see it the following. So he'll come around these final few S's, work his way up to pretty much the last result. And this one here should be one of 2 laps still remaining here for your current leader, Craig Jancic.
Trying to look through here, looks like Brandon and Kyle still running nose to tail as well. Looks like Jim Dutton trying to make a move on Michael Pennant there.
Go back and see where Jim is back here in 15th overall, and little fender bumping here and there, but trying to get around, putting a little bit of pressure on Michael Pennant there, and see if we get him to make a mistake and possibly get that number 83 around the 20 and take over and secure P number 14.
Yeah, you can tell he's pushing. You see the car doing little 4-wheel skids here and there. Serpentining down the front straight too.
Yeah, the snake. I know Pocono's pretty big for that one during the oval races, and they call it the Pocono Shuffle. I'm not sure what they'd call it here at Fuji, but definitely trying to break up that draft just a little bit to kind of help secure those runs here. But we're getting very, very close here. We should see white flag this time by here. We'll hop on board Craig Jancic here as he is working his way up those final corners here to take the white flag, and then we'll take a look back to see what happened to John Espada as I see him flash up on my screen as I'm getting involved in an incident here. But as we come down the straightaway, we'll be looking for Barney And he's over there on the right-hand side, and the white flag is a flying. So got a quick glimpse out of it as Craig Chancig is just flying at the moment. The fastest part of the track, getting up to about 168 miles an hour, down into turn 1, going down through all your gears to get that car kind of rotated through. Work your way back up here. Hit that 50 board, cut on the apex here, get on the throttle, use that downforce here for the LMP2, and that's really the big thing about the LMP2 is you have to trust the downforce. You have to be, can't be afraid to drive it, or it just does not work. It's like a fine line for that car.
Yeah, it's like you got to go fast enough to get the downforce. Because if you slow down, it's almost like, I mean, I've had that where you have like a decreasing radius corner, and as you slow down, it just keeps pushing. So if you overcook it a little bit, it'll make you pay pretty hard sometimes.
And here comes Craig through the final corners here with a 7-second lead over his teammate Bryce Reiner in P number 2. Gonna go ahead and bring this number 97 down the front stretch and down for another win this season here with CSRL. Craig Jancik is going to be your overall winner in your LMP2. Bryce Reiner coming down right behind him. Going to finish in third. In second. Almost gave him a position away. He might get mad at me. And then Savani and Madrigal there following back there for your top 3 in your LMP2 Pro Division. Javi Sierra working his way around the final corner now. He's going to be your winner for your LMP2 AM class. And then your second place finisher for AM is going to be the likes of Paul Smith, finishing in 12th overall. Back for your GT3 Pro is going to be Ricky Renner, able to sneak away from Christopher Hamilton, maybe on that that pit stop, following Christopher Hamilton around the race, the very first half, being able to save that fuel maybe was what gave him the extra time in order to be your winner here tonight overall for your GT3s, and then back for your overall for your GT3 AMs is going to be Cesar Colon Torres as he works his way through. You hear that Mustang V8 roaring here coming through the final corners. One of the few cars I just love the sound of it, especially on the outside, and working our way down the straightaway. So good win there for Cesar Colon Torres. Up 8 spots overall for the night. I think he will even manage to be the biggest mover of the race. So, John, if you wouldn't mind giving those guys a holler, tell them to meet us down in the waiting room. Jancik, Javi Sierra, Ricky Renner, and Cesar Colon Torres. And yeah, since he's the biggest mover, then we probably won't have one. The Sandbagger, because he'll get 2.
Caesar. You said Caesar, Renner.
Caesar, Renner, Sierra, Dooley, and, no, not Dooley, Jancik, excuse me.
Yeah, I was going to say, I was pretty sure I remembered who won the race.
And while you're gathering up the other people, we'll go ahead and bring in our overall winner. And it's been a little while since we've gotten a chance to talk to the number 97 of Craig Jancik. Craig, Jimmy, and John up in the booth tonight. You copy?
Hey guys, Jimmy, good to hear from you again. John, it's been like 2 years, man. Hope you're doing well.
Yeah.
It's been heck of a season so far for you, Craig. But here tonight, you're able to capitalize on a mistake made there by your competitor, and able to get around and just walk away. So a fantastic run here tonight. Give us a little rundown on how your race was here at Fuji.
Yeah, thank you guys. I really think I had pole speed. I just didn't have pole execution in qualifying. So starting second was tough. Just kind of knew that Dace was going to get the jump, and then he's really good at cold tire defense. So I knew the first couple laps I would get close, but I'd have a tough time overall passing him. So that was fine. I was just going to settle in there until the traffic arrived, and then the traffic arrived, and yeah, I'm just trying to watch back here what happened because I came up on them super fast, and yeah, it just looked like unfortunately that GT3 there just kind of missed it a little bit. I don't know if it was an aero sensitivity thing from having the one car on the outside and me kind of tucked right up behind him there, but it just kind of floated out there. So you know, I hate the misfortune that is the reason why we were able to make the pass. I'd love to just do it on merit and talent, but you know, it didn't happen that way. But yeah, I mean, I knew as soon as he went sideways there, you know, I knew that I was just going to be able to not cruise to victory, so to say, but you know, the risk to take just got really reduced, and you know, my pit entry was a little bit cautious as a result of that, and you know, my decisions in traffic were made much easier by not feeling the urgency there with Dace going around. So yeah, I love the first half of this track a lot, like top 5 overall love, and then I top 5 hate the second half of this lap. So I guess I feel pretty neutral about it, and you know, I guess maybe I'll gain a natural appreciation for it just for standing in victory lane here tonight.
Yeah, I mean, it's a love-hate relationship, truly, as you love half of it and hate the other half. And so it's, you know, I kind of feel the same way. It is one of those tracks that can be tricky at times. And when you do hit those tricky spots that you do hate, they feel extremely well. And you got that done here tonight. Put yourself in that winner's circle, man. So we want to say congratulations and give you some time for any shouts you might have. That number 97.
Yeah, first and biggest shout out here is going to be to a competitor in our league and a teammate of mine at Velocity Competition, and just a good man and a personal friend and his family, Bill Burrell, to his grandchildren Logan and Adelie. You can already tell that they're the light of his world and the light of the family, the Burrell family as a whole. And you know, it's going to be really cool to kind of let that part of Bill shine here. So I'm really happy, humbled and honored that Bill was even watching here tonight for a little bit, as well as Chris and probably many other members of the family here. But even the small ones couldn't keep their eyes open, I hear. So you know, I think the world of Bill, and I'm glad to have him not just in our league here, but as a personal friend and as a teammate here at Velocity Competition. So that's most important. Shout out Bryce for getting second here as well. You know, a nice 1-2 after some really terrible races for us the last few weeks. It's you know, I tried to show the world last season that it was never too late to make a points run. Maybe I'll try it again, and we'll take that momentum forward here. But you know, thanks to you guys, CRN, everybody else at Velocity, Martin PC. The whole league here, CSRL, and my mom, my dad, Aunt Sandy, Chris, my girlfriend Anna, and Uncle Lee. Thank you so much for watching and supporting me. And we will board the jet here, and I believe we are headed to Jimmy's territory down in Daytona next week, right?
Yeah, opposite side of the state, but definitely a lovely track. One of my favorites, and I'm sure a lot of people's favorites, as most of road racers partake in the 24-hour event. So should be an interesting one there. And if ever anybody's feeling it, I think in September there's an actual that 24-hour series they got going on for these 13 weeks. I think Daytona pops up in there. So there's always that chance for the teams to go out there and get that extra track time as a team. So, but look forward to seeing you over there, and hopefully we'll get to talk to you back up here in Victory Lane. But for this one here, Craig, appreciate the shout outs as always. And again, congratulations, and we'll let you go celebrate this one with your friends and family.
Indeed. That Daytona's under the lights, by the way. All right. Take care, boys.
All right. That's your winner here overall for the LMP2s. Craig Jancic, and then we'll go ahead and talk to the LMP2 AM winner, Ricky Renner. John, take it away.
I think that's
he's the
GT3
GT3 winner.
Same thing. AM was last night.
So,
Right?
Yeah. A little better than last night. You didn't put it in the wall.
That'd be a while before he lives that one down.
Yeah, that's going to be a minute.
But, looking like fuel strategies, what kind of gave you the ability to get out ahead of Chris there?
Yeah, the fuel strategy worked out pretty well. I came out of the last turn. I was thinking about going into pits. I seen some LMPs behind, like the timing. I was like, oh, they might pass in a rough spot. So I was thinking about going into the pits, but then he went in. So I was like, you know what? Let's just do something different and see if it works out. And I did. I really thought with the parachute tied to the back of my car, though, that when he was behind, he would probably be able to close the gap, because his draft really helped a lot when I was behind him, but it ended up working out.
Yeah, that Mustang punches a rather large hole, and that McLaren doesn't. So
yeah. Well, I think the McLaren punches a large hole for everybody behind it. The draft is so good because the car is so draggy, but when it's by itself and you have no draft, it's like the wing is just crazy high on it on the fixed setup that it's just super draggy. It's nice through the corners, but yeah, and the McLaren is so strong on corner exits through the last sector. Was a huge difference between me and him.
yeah, it looked like even when you would get up, within about a tenth or 2/10 there, just at the end of the straight, just nothing to really be able to send it in there into turn one on him.
Yeah, like I said, I really didn't think if I got around that I would be able to get away. And just the speed difference on the fixed setup between the two cars, I think if I had passed him at any moment, by the time we got back to the start straight, he would have just went back by me. So I didn't really see any benefit of trying to make a move early on. But yeah, it worked out. Some of the traffic was a bit tricky tonight, but all in all, it was a good race.
Is there anybody you want to give a shout out to on that 53 machine before we let you go celebrate?
You know the drill. Shout out to you guys for being up here in the booth all these times, and the whole crew for putting on the series, all the drivers for showing up and making it a big series. Shout out to the whole simraces.com crew, all the guys in there. It's been a tough go for some of the guys, but hopefully the luck turns around, and it's a little more fortunate for some of them. We can get back to being up front in both classes.
Well, again, congratulations on pulling the win home here tonight, and hopefully we can catch you next week at Daytona.
Yeah, hopefully we'll see you tomorrow.
Right.
That's your GT3 winner for the overall. The GT3 is so correction. It wasn't your LMP2, and still waiting for the LMP2 AM driver, but we're going to bring in not only our first place winner here in the GT3 wow, I'm getting these all mixed up. Yeah, AM here. It's is going to go there to Cesar Colon Torres. So Cesar, another great run here tonight. Gaining you're actually the biggest mover of the race, aren't you? Yeah, so he's the biggest one. Yeah, I have you up 8 spots.
Ooh.
Yeah,
dang,
overall.
okay, cool.
Yeah. So
I got lucky with the T1 craziness.
Yeah. So that's why we called you in here. So we're still looking for our AM drivers. Need Powell and Sierra. Anyways, so John grab those. But we got a chance to talk to you here. Obviously, a pretty difficult track here. Being out there and some real technical areas, and then a nice long straightaway to kind of get those speeds down here. But get that Mustang out here running around here tonight and get all the positions made up. So just want to say congratulations, man. Get your side of the story and how it was out there.
First off, I want to say, John, I told you I'd talk to you, buddy. So Monday I had a horrible race, and John and I were in the same league. Horrible race. We got black flag before it even started. I tried to ask for the clearance of the black flag. Mic wasn't working. I was like, you know what? It's the Nürburgring. Maybe I'll find some spots back. Didn't find any spots back. Found the wall. So quit immediately. So John messaged me. I said, hopefully I can talk to you Wednesday. So this is full circle moment, fruition type thing. Second, great race with Powell. Powell is putting up a huge defense. He's always a great racer to be around and to push me to my limits. I get to race him on Wednesdays and Sundays, so it's always a good battle and always someone to actually push me to the wall sometimes. But it's very, very fun. He's a good guy.
Yeah, it looked like the two of y'all, everybody else that was running nose to tail, you could tell was there saving fuel and whatnot. Y'all two looked like you were ready to go for each other's throats at any moment.
Yeah, we were actually in Discord together, and I was talking strategy, and I was like, I think I'm gonna end with no fuel here, and he was like, yeah, hopefully the whole time. So it was a good time, but yeah, we were both just pushing to the max. We had no thought of fuel saving, and we were literally at the end talking about it, like, man, we probably should have saved a little bit of fuel. Just making it through the line with Craig not passing us at the end. That's the one thing we were saying, like waiting for. We were like, LMP2 will probably pass us and we'll get the white flag on this lap. And he never did. So then we started sweating, both of us.
Yeah, y'all two were the only AMs that did not go 2 laps down. So,
hey, we
better
did
than
it.
some of the pros as well. So good job on that.
Yeah, we did it. It's great racing with him, man. And it's always fun on Wednesdays.
Well, we're headed to Daytona next week. You looking forward to that one, or?
Yeah, super. I got his ups and downs. Last time we were in Daytona here, I think it was raining, and it was not a great time for me. So hopefully it's better conditions, and I have a better mentality. So we'll try and keep it together.
Well, congratulations, and hey, you want to give a shout out to on that 007 machine tonight?
First off, Black Saturn, you guys are awesome. The racing group, also Summit Racing Group, you guys are freaking awesome. 2, the booth, you guys are always amazing. Thank you for always being here, broadcasting, doing what you guys do. CSRL Racing Group, you guys are freaking awesome as well. Thank you for pushing me to the limits. And my girlfriend is here actually cheering me on, watching the race for the first time. So that was awesome. And yeah, just that everyone, the fam, everyone, you guys are awesome. Thank you all for being here.
All right. Well, congratulations. Hope we can catch you again next week, and have a good one.
Thanks, man. See ya.
That
was your
winner.
GT3 AM.
Yeah.
Winner.
Yeah, so your GT3 AM winner. As I was looking at the class display at the top. I was incorrect. So see Cesar Clone Torres right here is your race winner. And that is going to be it for our drivers here. Talking to them here tonight, but obviously we're going to head over to Bristol for pit road speed limit racing. So we're not done here in CRN. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe and hit that bell for notifications when we go live, or find your favorite driver in the Discord. And usually the links are posted up there prior to the race as well. So I appreciate everybody stopping by here, and looking forward to seeing you at the next one. And until Daytona next week, we'll see you in the track.
Green flag drops on a Sunday night.